Outside the Box Reviews, we're taking a look at the Funko Pop Vinyl Pop Rides line figure, or I guess I should say vehicle number 4, and this is the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 with Winston Zeddmore. Now, according to the packaging on the Ghostbusters figures, Winston is supposedly his own numbered figure, but as of this point, I've only ever seen him come with this Ecto-1, and I was pretty disinterested in most of the other Pop rides so far. They did the Batmobile, which is cool. It's the Batmobile, how could it not be cool? But wasn't really collecting any of the Batman stuff. They did the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and that has tempted me seeing it over and over at my local bookstores. But when I start picking up this Ghostbusters line, specifically helped immensely by the fact that the only way to get Winston so far is with this car, I knew I had to get the Ecto-1. It is one of the coolest vehicles of all time, cinema history, whatever you want to say. But I was very, very excited to get my hands on this vehicle. So let's grab our PKA meters, strap on our proton packs, and bust right in and take a closer look at this set. And first up, we're going to take a look at the figure that, if there's a steady paycheck in it, he'll believe anything you want. And finally, so happy to be able to round out the Ghostbusters themselves in the Pop Vinyl line. It seemed such a shame to only have the 3, even though a majority of the movie is really just the 3 of them, but so happy to get Zeddmore finally. And you can see he is just a reuse of the Venkman body, obviously a new head, but the body itself is the same pose, same details going on here. But Funko has done a great job on the head. I love the little mustache on him. Not too often you get a Pop Vinyl with a mustache. Not much going on with the face, really. He's got the little cut up here in his hair. The hair is just painted on, no sculpting. It's just painted on detail because it's so short in the film. I do have a couple paint errors, a little scratch above his ear, a little drop going down there, but fairly minor in the scheme of things. I've seen a lot of these packs with some serious paint issues, and this is pretty minor. Of course, coming down, he's got his normal Ghostbusters jumpsuit. He's got his Ghostbusters logo on the sleeve, his elbow pads, gloves hanging off the belt, black boots. He's got his proton wand in his hand. Come back with a cable to that beautifully detailed proton pack. You gotta love the work that went into this thing. Just some great sculpting from Funko. Absolutely love it. And just like any Pop Vinyl, we just have a swivel on his head, and that's it. But the one thing that sets this figure apart from the rest is what's on the bottom. Peg holes. He has peg holes in his feet to actually peg into the Ecto-1, which none of the other Ghostbusters have. And taking a look at the Ecto-1, this thing is so highly detailed. I guess I should have expected it. They went in such detail on the proton packs, but this is great even if you're not a Pop collector. You take the Pop out of the roof, yeah, it's big and hollow on the top, but even beyond that, it just looks like a good little representation of the Ecto-1. We got the wheels with the white wall tires and the spoked rims, obviously the logo on the door. Even got the door handle sculpted in, painted, nice silver chrome, big fins coming off the back, all the little windows and the separations. I love this chrome paint they used on it. Coming on the back, we got the trunk, the door, more logo, the Ecto-1 license plate, New York. The other side, we've got the hose coming up to the whole apparatus up top, side mirrors and the little light there, hood ornament, the grill up front, the little recessed turn signals, very nicely detailed. If you take a look inside, you can see there are 2 pegs, which is what Zeddmore will plug into. And up top, we got the light bar here. This is an area where I've seen a lot of problems. I have some pretty minor ones, but it appears that the glue they used to affix this is pretty sloppy and has gotten all over a lot of these bars. You can kind of see there's some white speckling going on around here, and it's just overuse of the glue, which is kind of a bummer because it makes it look pretty ugly. And then way back here we have the full apparatus on the ceiling, all the gizmos that who knows what they do. Of course the ladder comes down to the side over here, and then our light bar and back. And just because Zeddmore is the only one with peg holes doesn't mean you can't put your other Ghostbusters figures in here. They just don't sit in as nicely. They do have a tendency where they could wobble around a bit, but if you're just leaving it as a static display, you can put whatever Pop Vinyl you want in this thing. I wouldn't really recommend putting Egon in there because both of his hands are carrying stuff, so he can't really hold the steering wheel, but you could do it. Heck, even Slimer can drive, but I didn't know he had his driver's license. And there we go, the full Ghostbusters lineup with the Ecto-1. I'm so glad I finally have all these guys in Pop Vinyl form. I guess if you consider, even though Funko puts all their figures into very broad categories, like most of these are from the Pop Movies line. Of course, the vehicle itself is from the Rides line. But if you were to subclassify things as sets of characters from one specific movie or property that actually have more than one character, this would be the first full set I've obtained. Got all 4 Ghostbusters, I got the Ecto-1, I got Slimer, and I've got 2 Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. Now, of course, I don't have all the variants. There's a full set of these guys covered in marshmallow. There is a Venkman that's slimed and a metallic Slimer. There's another 1 or 2 variants of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and then another slimed Egon and Ecto-1, which doesn't actually happen in the movie, as someone pointed out to me, so not really something worth getting for everybody, but you can have a full Ghostbusters team, and I do have a full Ghostbusters team, and I'm pretty happy about that. And overall, I am definitely going to recommend the Ecto-1, but with one major caveat. You need to check out the paint before you buy it. These things have been popping up lately at Books A Millions and Hot Topics, and if you have the option to go and take a good look at it before you purchase, definitely do so. I've seen plenty with some pretty major paint problems that's kind of plagued this entire Ghostbusters run of figures, and the more I look at this Ecto-1, unfortunately, the more I'm seeing little problems. There's a little bit of paint missing on the chrome up here, there's some sloppy lines in the gear, but overall I got a pretty good example, but I've seen some really, really bad ones. So do your homework, search for the best paint you could possibly get, and hopefully with some luck you'll get a really nice example of this in your collection. But I do strongly recommend it. Absolutely love this set. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, there's something strange on YouTube. Who are you gonna call? Outside the Box Reviews.